Okay, so welcome to Actify Chat, Communications Happenings and Trends. We're going to discuss the Austin bombing that's occurred over the past 2 weeks. So Austin has experienced about 4 bombings again of this approximately these past 2 weeks, killing about 2 people and leaving 4 injured, including 2 men from last night who sustained injuries. So after the 4th bombing on Sunday, about 8:30 p.m. local time in Austin, Police Chief Brian Manley came out Monday morning and stated that they believe this is the work of a serial bomber. He went on to explain that he believed that the last bombing was a set of, he explained that they believed that the last bombing was set off by actually a tripwire, and residents within a half a mile of that blast were cautioned to remain indoors until at least 10 o'clock in the morning. He went on to say that our safety message to this point has been, do not handle packages, do not pick up packages, do not disturb packages. We now need the community to have an extra level of vigilance and pay attention to any suspicious device, whether it be a package, a bag, a backpack, anything that looks out of place. Do not approach it. So children in that area were excused from school as they could not safely send the buses to pick them up. And the first 3 bombings were left on doorsteps in a plain cardboard box with a shipping label attached. Though this last device with the tripwire was a lot more complex. People believe all 4 bombs were the act of one individual or a group of individuals, and has a higher level of bomb-making skills from first thought, which has federal authorities actually pretty concerned, and understandably so. So prior to last night's attacks, the police had increased the initial award from $50,000 to $115,000 for any information leading to the capture and arrest of these individuals or individual responsible. But Manley also put out a plea to the person or people responsible during a news conference. He said, "We hope this person or persons is watching and will reach out to us before anyone else is injured or anyone else is killed. We assure you, we are listening and we want to understand what brought you to this point, and we want to listen to you, so please call us." So here's a timeline of these bombings. So on March 2nd, a 39-year-old man, Anthony Stephenhouse, was killed in Northeast Austin when he picked up a box on the front porch. On March 12th at 7:30 a.m. in East Austin, 17-year-old Draylon Mason brought a package inside his home and was opening it in front of his mother when it exploded, killing Draylon and injuring his mother. Later that same day, a 75-year-old Hispanic woman south of downtown Austin is still hospitalized with life-threatening injuries after picking up a package off of her front porch. And on March 18th, which was last night, at 8:30 p.m., Southwest Austin, 2 men in their 20s were hospitalized after the latest blast. So with all this happening, it seems like the mainstream media has kind of dropped the ball here and hasn't really reported this. But it looks like only Fox News was doing kind of a larger story, at least initially earlier today, as Twitter user J. Aaron A. points out. Listen at CNN and MSNBC. As much as think all MSM fail at their responsibility to inform the public, and as much as I think Fox is an outlet for state propaganda, what the hell are you doing not covering Austin? Minority communities are being bombed, and all you can think about is Trump. And he goes on and kind of puts little depictions of stories that are kind of on the front pages of these websites, which the majority of which are Trump-related pages. So I think at the time they did report, like CNN and MSNBC did report on their channel. But again, it's not really a reliable way that a lot of people, at least in the millennial generations, consume their news. And so for that to not be kind of a headline first page thing is astounding, because I would consider this to be an act of domestic terrorism, which This administration really hasn't been focusing on that issue, but a lot of people would argue, or some people would say, that if this was a Muslim-related incident, where it was a Muslim-related attack, you better believe that this would be on every front page, on every news outlet in the country.
So anyhow, the thing I wanted to mention is that at this point, Trump has not even tweeted or talked about these bombings. And, we talk about the Trump administration, putting this off unless it was, a brown person doing the bombings. But what's going to happen if he comes out now, now that the last two victims were possibly white? I mean, that they're being reported as being white. But, yet people are saying that all these were happening in areas that were, major minority areas. So, I mean, for him to come out now, everyone's going to be pissed off at that too, so where do we go from there? Like, if he's not going to react to a bomb going off in a major city from day one because a Black man was killed, of course people are going to think, that it's a racist thing.
I think it's reasonable to assume that, just because of how this administration has handled race relations. I mean, this is why it's good to go ahead and make statements when things occur or as they're occurring, right? And not like jumping to conclusion statements saying, I think there was this idiot, of course, on Twitter, because that's the platform of idiots sometimes, saying, oh, Antifa did this. Oh, okay, where did you get that information? How do you know? We don't even know the racial demographic of the person that did it. I mean, for all we know, it could be a brown person or a white person or a Latina or Latino doing these things, or a group of people. And so we don't know. And I don't know if it's random. It seems like the places that were targeted weren't random, but the people that were targeted were definitely random, because it seems like the area is very gentrified, and it wasn't a predominantly white area from what people are saying at this point in time, that it wasn't a predominantly white area. However, it just happened to be white people that got injured or happened to live there. So it's hard to say. It's good to have all the, don't jump to conclusions, but definitely say, release a statement. The White House should have released a statement from day one saying, these bombings are unacceptable, that we will consider them an act of domestic terrorism, regardless of your racial demographics or anything like that, regardless of who you're targeting, because it is terrorism. It is designed to strike fear in people in these areas. All right, so thank you for listening or watching to Actify Chat, Communications Happenings and Trends. This was kind of a really spur of the moment story we really wanted to get out to you guys. And if you want more of these, please help us by going going to our Patreon page and giving what little bit you can to help produce more information to you guys like this. And of course, if you liked what you saw, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yay.